I ask you if you got this paper in front of you. It's the paper you signed, correct? I'm gonna step to the side for a minute. I gotta produce you first.
Morning. The committee is called to order. Today is Wednesday, August 13, 2025. It is 8:52 p.m. My name is Cheryl Renatson, serving as chairman of today's parole panel. My colleagues on the panel this morning, seated to my left, Mrs. Jerry Ledoux, to my right is Mr. Danny Byron. We're at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge with the staff here. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Parole.
And our first remote location this morning is in Jefferson Parish. Good morning, sir. Would you introduce yourself for the record?
Good morning, Deputy Ivy Marlboro with Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fine. I got KENTRAIL ARD for you.
Good forward. Thank you. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Second front.
Good morning, Mr. Ard.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good. Would you introduce yourself for the record? Give us your name and your DOC number.
I'm KENTRELL ARD, DOC number 629-546.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ard, you're here for a revocation decision. Do you have a parole revocation questionnaire there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on the information contained in that document, it was determined you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Are you ready to proceed without a lawyer this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'm going to read the allegations against you, and then we'll ask for your plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll talk about it before we vote. So you're accused of violating condition number 2. And it states that you failed to report as directed on January 13 and February 17 of 2025. So how do you plead to that violation?
I'm guilty, but I just thought they were supposed to come and see me at the time.
Okay. And then there's a condition number 4. And it reads, on February 25th, 2025, you were arrested by Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. You were charged with first-degree rape with the victim under 13, sexual battery, and resisting an officer. In regards to resisting an officer, Agent Bro provided a copy of the bill of information for that docket. Resisting an officer arraignment was set for September 8th in the 2nd Parish Court. In regards to the first-degree rape with the victim under 13 and sexual battery, those charges have been refused. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Which one is that exactly?
It's being arrested by the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office and charged with first-degree rape with the victim under 13, sexual battery, and resisting an officer.
I'm not guilty. I was arrested with the sexual battery, not guilty, and a first-degree rape, not guilty.
Tell us what happened.
Well, I was just getting off of work at the time. And well, I guess when they pulled up or whatever, I was, I was afraid really, and I just took off. I was with some people I really wasn't supposed to hang out with. I really didn't know who we was coming for. I just didn't want to be arrested at the time. I had a lot going on, and I wanted to see my kids. I didn't want to come back here for no reason. I really didn't know what I was being pulled over for in the first place. And I wasn't given them the information. I wasn't told that I was being under arrest. I didn't know that I didn't know that I had warrants and stuff like that. I didn't know that none of this was going on until I got to the jail.
I hear what you're saying. So tell us why you say you failed to report and you didn't respond to, they left you some appointment letters, I believe, telling you you had an appointment. Why you didn't report to your officer? I know you said you thought they were supposed to come see you, but they left notice appointment letters with you.
Yeah, well, the last letter I got, I actually called him and we talked about it, and I told him that I was going to come in. Like, I just didn't have the chance to make it to it. The second letter I did get, and I gave him a call and let him know that I was on my way in. I just ain't never had time to tell him.
You ever been on supervision before?
Yes, ma'am.
You're a third offender, so you know what the rules are. I don't have any questions. Any questions?
Yeah, but I always thought that the last time I was on, the guy, he used to come to my house, probation officer Che, he used to come to the house whenever I had a.
That's your probation officer this time?
No, ma'am, I got
I know. I don't have any other questions. Do you have any questions?
No, I read the preliminary hearing. It was, a lot of other issues that they addressed. I don't have any.
All right, Mr. Ard, I don't see any other questions, so we're gonna go ahead and vote, and I'm gonna vote first today. My vote's gonna be to revoke your parole based on the arrest report and the bill of information in that case for resisting an officer. Mrs. Ledoux?
My vote is to revoke failure to comply with your parole.
Mr. Barra.
And I concur with my colleagues for the same reason.
Okay, Mr. Ard, good luck in your arraignment in September, but today your parole's being revoked.
excuse me, I didn't know I could be revoked for resisting arrest, like.
Criminal activity is a revocable offense.
I didn't know I was being arrested. I didn't know.
Barbara, we're gonna sign off. Thanks for helping us out
Thank
today.
you.
Dina.
All right, you have a good day. All right, I'm gonna bring you some paperwork to sign from the Senate coming.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes. Good morning, Eric.
One,
Good morning. The Committee on Parole reconvening. We're now in Orleans Parish at 9:06 a.m. on Wednesday, August 13th. My name is Cheryl Manazza, serving as chairman today. My colleagues on the panel are Mrs. Ledoux to my left, Mr. Barra to my right. And this is Mr. Smith.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, it is.
Mr. Smith, do you have an officer in the room with you?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like the officer to introduce themselves for the record.
Good morning. I'm Alicia.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for accommodating us this morning.
Thank you.
And Mr. Smith, tell us your name and DOC number, please.
Eric Smith, 468-213.
And I see you have your counsel. Counsel, would you introduce yourself for the record, sir?
Good morning. My name is Alex Bello, representing Mr. Eric Smith.
Okay. And are you retained counsel, Mr. Bello?
I am retained counsel.
All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
But for clarity, he retained. I was not appointed to represent him, but I am doing this pro bono, just for clarity.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir. So it's my understanding that Mr. Smith appeared before a parole panel last week on August 7th for a revocation decision.
Correct.
At that time,
You froze. We're frozen. Hello?
all right, I think we've resolved. Can you hear? So I was saying that Mr. Smith appeared before a parole panel last week on August 7th for a revocation decision. And at that time, that panel voted to terminate Mr. Smith unsatisfactorily because it appeared at that time that his full term date had passed. That was an error on the time calculation. And so that decision was rescinded August the 11th. based on the error in the time calculation. So that's why we're here today, is to
Okay.
reconsider the revocation process.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you have retained counsel this morning, Mr. Smith, so I'm just going to turn it over to Ms. Ledoux, so you enter your plea, and then we'd like to hear from your lawyer and further discussion before we make a decision. Mrs. Ledoux.
Mr. Smith, you were alleged to have violated your condition of parole. Condition number 4, you engaged in criminal conduct when you committed the offense of domestic abuse battery, as evidenced by your arrest by New Orleans Police Department on or about April 29, 2025. On May 29th, the district attorney's office refused the domestic abuse battery charges. How do you plead to this?
Not guilty, ma'am.
Okay, so to clarify, you were arrested for those charges and you're pleading not guilty to the action that precipitated that.
Yes, ma'am.
Righty. Would you like your attorney to make a statement on your behalf? Or would you like to make a statement and explain what happened at that time?
Yes, some misunderstanding. And
One moment, please. Eric, they asked you 2 questions. They asked if you want me to speak, make a statement on your behalf, or if you want to make a statement on your own behalf. So what are you choosing to do, Eric?
well, you can speak.
Okay. So at this time, I'll go ahead on and make the record. And for clarity, would you all like me to address the incident that precipitated, or would you prefer additional information?
Whatever you see fit that will enlighten our decision making.
Thank you. Well, I want to begin with what I believe Eric represents. I believe Eric represents a Department of Corrections success story, because Eric demonstrates or exhibits successful rehabilitation. Eric was paroled on December 8th, 2024. He checked in for the first time with his parole officer on December 10th. In early January, about a month after checking in, after having not been able to find a job, Eric enrolled in school at the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice so that he can obtain certifications to become an environmental worker. This is an intensive 12-week program, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eric successfully completed the program. His counselor there at Deep South Center for Environmental Justice advised me that they had emailed in a letter of support for Eric, and I'm not certain if you've received it. I have a copy of the letter, and it is a glowing letter. It says that Eric embraced the challenge of the program. He demonstrated hard work, integrity. He was responsible. He was accountable. And he, by all accounts, he's an exemplary student. He completed this program in April and began the job search. The Deep South Center for Environmental Justice started lining up jobs for him, and he started doing interviews. Eric went to do a background check for an apartment and a potential job, and then it was found that there was this arrest warrant in place for him. Eric presently has job prospects lined up in the pipeline, according to the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice. They have also secured funding for Eric to have housing. The TCA, Total Community Action, has committed to make a deposit, as well as up to 3 months rent for Eric as he gets on his feet. And he also has strong family and community support. Now, regarding this incident of his arrest that caused his parole to come up for possible revocation, is there's an incident with the lady that he's in a relationship with, a romantic relationship with. She found pictures of another lady on Eric's phone and became angry. And the lady on the phone resembled the lady who lived next door to the lady, to Miss Cyprian, who Eric was in a romantic relationship with. And she, that angered her. According to my client, she threatened to call the police on him because she knew he was on parole and it would possibly get him in some trouble. When I met with Eric to discuss our defense for this matter, Eric asked me in no unclear terms not to paint her in a bad light, not to make her out to be a bad person. Eric understands that Miss Cyprian has some mental health challenges that sort of causes this type of behavior from her. But he knows that she's not a bad person. So in his heart, he doesn't even want me, his lawyer, who's fighting for his life, to paint Miss Cyprian in a poor light. If you all looked at the body cam video of this incident of, when the police came out to take the report from Miss Cyprian, there were two videos. One was like 20-something minutes in length, but the longer one is 34 minutes and 22 seconds. If you look at the 32-minute and 30-second mark, the officer notes to his supervisor that Miss Cyprian was not very cooperative and didn't really want to participate, even though she was the one who called the police. And then around the 33-minute and 10-second mark, he notes that she told him Eric punched her, but on that video at the 33-minute, 10-second mark, he says, "I do not see anything from a punch." Now, that differs from his report, where he wrote that he observed a bruise as a result of Eric Smith punching her. And he stated that he showed a video of it. But we have two different accounts. His body cam video says one thing in real time when he was first taking his report, and his report says another thing. Ms. Cyprian has not cooperated from the day she made this report all the way through May 29th, from at the time when the district attorney's office refused these charges. I want to suggest to this honorable board that it would be unjust to deprive this man of his liberty on the account, on an uncorroborated account of a witness that is no longer cooperating and appeared to not want to even corroborate at the time of the report. I'm asking this board to follow the decision, or not follow, but recognize that the original panel that heard this account, that conducted this hearing, voted unanimously not to revoke my client. And I'm asking that this panel do the exact same thing.
Thank you, Mr. Bello. Are there any questions of Mr. Bello?
No.
I would like to take a moment to review the video that was the second video that Mr. Bello referred to at the 32-minute, 30-second, and 33-minute, 10-second point. So stand by, Mr. Bello. We're going to go off record for a moment to do that, and we'll be right back with you.
Thank you very much.
No.
All right, thank you for giving us the time to review the video. We appreciate it. Mr. Bello, you mentioned that there was a letter from the Deep South Environmental, whatever, letter of support. We'd like you to send that over to us. I don't see it included in the record that we have today.
Okay.
So, I think at this time, though, Mr. Smith, the panel is prepared to vote, and Mrs. Ledoux will be voting first.
Mr. Smith, I think you made a very poor choice when you decided to live in what I would consider an unstable relationship. That wasn't a wise choice, in my opinion. However, I don't see clear and compelling evidence of injury. My vote is going to be to not revoke, to continue on parole, that you have to have a curfew from 10 to 5. I don't think they're doing environmental things at night. You need to have a stable housing situation. Okay. Yeah. And no contact with the victim and the crime, the Cyprian. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You agree with those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Barrow.
I'm going to concur with Ms. Ledoux, but also add a condition of anger management evaluation.
Okay. And I do agree, based on the information that we received today, my vote is the same. Do not revoke those special added conditions. Good luck to you, Mr. Smith. Thank you, Mr. Bello.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Going to sign off at 9:23 for morning.
Thank you.
We're next.
Yep. Think so.
All right, thank you. The Committee on Parole is reconvening. It's 9:33 a.m. on August 13th, 2025. My name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chair of today's parole panel. And our remote location at this time is at Allen Correctional Center. Good morning, Warden. Would you and your staff introduce yourself?
Good morning. Keith Cooley, Facility Warden.
Crystal Simon, Assistant Warden.
Jessica Manual Classifications. Kathy Manual as a supporter.
All right, thank y'all. Thanks for having us today. And we have Mr. Dagel. Mr. Dagel, would you introduce yourself to the community?
Good morning. My name is Darren Dagel, DOC 451360.
And we have here with us in Baton Rouge, your attorney. Would you introduce yourself for the record, please? You can just.
Like a slow.
And your brother Jason is also here with us in Baton Rouge this morning. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And you see on Zoom, we have the Parole Project, Mr. Kerry Myers, and Jeremy, another brother, is on Zoom. And so we also have some opposition representing, we have Miss April Jones and Susan Wanage. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, who are here on Zoom in opposition. First, Mr. Dagel, you've been through the process before, so you kind of know how it works. It may be a little different this time. I'm going to read the identifying information into the record, and then we'd like to hear your statement.
Yes, ma'am.
What it is, that you did for the record, and, why do you think we ought to vote favorably for you today? We'll hear from the warden, and then we'll turn it over, and for those who want to speak in behalf, and we'll let Ms. Sloan close it out for us.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Dagel, you are classified as a first felony offender. You're currently serving a 32-year sentence. Sentenced in Calcasieu Parish in March of 2002 for second-degree kidnapping. You received a 32-year sentence and attempted manslaughter. That was a 20-year sentence, and those are running concurrently. Your parole eligibility date was March 25th, 2025, and your good time date has been adjusted to June 5th, 2027. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
All right, so we'd like to hear your statement.
Yes, ma'am. The fact of the matter in my case is plain. I went to the victim's place of employment regretfully and wrongfully. I was armed with a dangerous weapon, and I did in fact commit the offense of attempted manslaughter by choking the victim with an electrical cord. Secondly, I did also in fact commit the offense of second-degree kidnapping when I held the victim against her own free will while armed with this dangerous weapon during the commission of a crime. And last but not least, I did in fact commit the offense of simple battery upon a second victim who was a co-worker of the first victim. She tried to intervene in the situation and she was accidentally hit with the weapon. My actions and my crime was a total stupidity and selfishness. It was downright senseless. And I'm still ashamed of it. And I do want to be clear, if I may, ladies and gentlemen, about acts and the crimes of violence must never be tolerated or accepted in our society. There's simply no place for it. I would like to add that over the last 25 years, I still can't come with the words to express the sorrow, regret, remorse, and the most sincerest and deepest apologies for my actions and for my crime and what it did to the victims physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, the list goes on. And I want this Honorable Committee on Parole to also recognize that I'm fully aware of the magnitude and the severity of my actions and the domino-like effect and the ripple effect that it caused on many others. Even my family were innocent victims due to my stupidity and selfishness, and my community. It's safe to say I failed a lot of people. And I would just like to ask the board to look at the computer screen at those in attendance today, whether in opposition or in favor. Look closely at the people involved in it as well as the people before you today. This is not even 10% of the lives that Derrick Dagel damaged, ruined, and destroyed or tore apart due to the trail of destruction as in my crime. And what's worse and just as sickening is 25 years later, the aftermath has been just as difficult to watch. And I want to put it bluntly, and excuse my French, I'm not going to go off board, but I was a blank and you know what for doing what I did. And that's all I have for that particular question, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, you prepared well for that.
It's just from the heart.
Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. Dagel?
Mr. Knox, I'll just speak to his incarceration. As Derrick indicated, he's been here since actually 2002. He's done most of his time here at Allen. During that time, he's been no significant disciplinary problems to us at all. Back in 2004, early on in his incarceration, he did have one minor disciplinary report for aggravated disobedience. He's been active in programs since his time here, completing everything required. You know, and like I said, he's done his sentence well. I can say that on behalf of inmate Dagel.
Thank you, sir. Can we hear from Mr. Myers, the Parole Project, please?
Yes, good morning. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. We're here to let the board know that we've accepted Derrick Dagel as our client. Derrick acting to our attention about 4 years ago through multiple people, through family, through supporters, through state officials, through multiple people because of Derrick. Because Derrick today, the person before you today, there's a significant difference between the 20-year-old man in crisis 25 years ago and the person who Derrick actually is. Derrick is a true first offender. He's, he committed a crime. There's a distinct difference between someone whose actions were criminal and someone who has criminal mentality. Derrick obviously does not have criminal mentality. He served more than 25 years, or right at 25 years of his sentence, which is about 3/4 of his sentence. Parole Project is prepared to support Derrick through his transition, through whatever conditions the board determines. He is also, as you've seen, when Derrick started his rehabilitation, upon his incarceration, long before Derrick thought or there was any chance that Derrick would be parole eligible. We're prepared to work with Derrick for his, again, for as long or whatever conditions this board would set forth. Derrick has no intentions of ever residing in Calcasieu Parish again. He will work with our social work staff immediately upon release to get another evaluation. While he does have offers of employment, Derrick will also work with our employment enhancement team to make sure he has gainful employment. And we would just ask this board to consider Derrick's extensive record of accomplishments while he was in prison, his essentially lack of disciplinary problems, his own remorse. And Derrick is prepared. Derrick has prepared himself for this day. He's recognized his actions. He's prepared himself. And so we'd ask this board to grant his parole.
All right, thank you. Thank you. We'll hear from Mr. Jason Dagel. Jason?
All right. Thank you for allowing me to come and speak with you today. My name is Jason Dagel, and I'm 40 years old, and I'm Derrick's younger brother. If Derrick is granted parole, he will be coming home to live with me, my wife, and our 2 children, who are ages 9 and 5 years old. As all of you by now have read my letter detailing why I believe Derrick should be approved for parole, I want to take the time now to share exactly what his living situation will look like and how we will be there to support him every single day. Our home is safe, stable, and family oriented. My wife and I have been married now for, for over 11 years. And we've worked hard to create an environment built on love, structure, and mutual respect. We live in Denham Springs, Louisiana, and I work as a regional manager in the retail industry. We are financially secure, which means Derrick will never have to worry about the basics. Roof over his head, food on the table, or transportation to work, programs, or appointment. He will walk into a home that is calm, consistent, and filled with people who want to see him succeed. But more than providing a place to live, we'll be giving him the foundation for success. From day one, Derrick will have clear expectations. Follow the rules of our home, maintain a productive daily routine, and seek steady employment, contribute to our household, and meet all parole requirements without exception. My wife and I are on the same page with this. We will not shy away from holding Derrick accountable. That means being involved in his daily routines, having ongoing conversations about his progress, and making sure his actions align with his commitments. At the same time, we'll be there supporting him. We understand that reentry is not easy. There will be challenges along the way. That's why we will provide encouragement, guidance, and help him navigate those challenges in a healthy, constructive way. In our home, Derrick will know that we're always in his corner, but he's also going to know that accountability will never take a back seat to comfort. Derrick will also have the benefit of being surrounded by family who love him, including 2 young children who absolutely adore their uncle. They met him, they know him, they talk about him, They make a list of things they'd like to do with them. That list is extremely long, by the way. And they look forward to his phone calls every single week as it stands now. I do believe their presence will give him an extra sense of purpose and a daily reminder of why it's worth staying on track. I can promise you this, if Derrick is granted parole, he will not just be released. He will be stepping into a strong, close-knit, and committed support system that will work tirelessly to help him succeed, and we will hold him to the highest of standards. We're all ready for Derrick, and we believe he's ready for this next chapter. Lastly, I'd like to leave this panel with this. When a person is born, they have 18 years to become an adult by society standards. That's 18 years to learn, 18 years to grow, and 18 years to prepare for life. The state of Louisiana has had Derrick for close to the last 25 years to rehabilitate him. In that time, he has grown, he's learned, and he's prepared himself for life beyond those walls. I believe with all my heart that time and work is now done. And now it's time to let him live. Thank you for considering.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Sloan?
Facility want to speak?
Okay, is there someone there that wants to speak at the facility?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Kathy Manuel is here in support.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't have that on my list. Go ahead, ma'am.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Manuel, and I'm the Executive Director of OASIS, the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency here in our Southwest Louisiana. And for the last 13 years, Derrick got started programs up here at Allen Correctional through us. I've been coming up here with my staff doing events with inmates on a regular basis before the COVID hit and the hurricanes and things like that. But since that, we've also done classes. We do them every other week. And Derrick helps facilitate that. He got those started. He went to the administration here to get those things going with us. He very openly shares his crime with the other offenders in those classes and his remorse for that and taking accountability. And recently his one of his brothers was murdered due to a domestic violence situation. And he openly talks about that now, how he sees from the victim's point of view, how that affects the family. I fully believe that Derrick is a completely different person than he was when he committed his crime. I know that I've seen him grow over the last 13 years. And just listening to him, he is more involved with our agency than most men out in the free society, which is one thing that he and I have discussed a lot, of him being able to assist the different domestic violence agencies across our state from his point of view to get men involved and to stand up for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. And I just hope that you see the same person that we see before you today and grant his release.
Well, thank you very much for sharing those thoughts with us. We appreciate it.
Like Sloan of the Louisiana Parole Project on behalf of Derrick Sr. At this point, you've already heard a lot about Mr. Dagel, but there's some additional things about him and the accomplishments that he's done over the past 25 years. First, you've heard a little bit about the OASIS program from Ms. Manuel, but I just wanted to take some time to emphasize the importance and the impact that that program has had in the California County. This committee is well aware that many people who are incarcerated in Louisiana become incarcerated following their involvement in instances of domestic and sexual violence. Yet there are very few opportunities for those folks to engage in specific training or programming related to this very widespread issue. Derrick Dagel recognized that unfortunate gap, and he took action to rectify it. He started by raising money for victims of domestic violence and organizing presentations by Ms. Manuel. But as an extremely regretful perpetrator of domestic violence himself, Mr. Dagel knew that both he and his community needed more. So Mr. Dagel, with the help of Ms. Manuel and the administration at Allen, created a domestic and sexual violence awareness and prevention course that he and other offenders have passed. Though it earns a no good time credit, he's been co-facilitating this program for the past 6 years. And this is a course that is not only focused on self-help for the participants, it's focused on public safety, victim impact, and the harm reduction. So Mr. Dagel didn't just participate in programming to support his rehabilitation, he helped create it. And he didn't just work to make change in himself, he worked to make a change in his community as well. And that to me is a true testimony. I just want the board to be aware of the incredible work that's happening at home and take a moment to personally thank the staff, Manuel, and Mr. Dagel for creating and sustaining this really important program. Mr. Dagel has been remorseful for his actions since the moment he came to and noticed. When he first met his defense attorney after he'd been arrested, he asked for the opportunity to apologize to the victims and to everyone who had been involved. Understandably, his lawyer advised him to wait until after his case was adjudicated, but at his sentencing, he took the time to express his heartfelt regret. He told the court he was wrong, ashamed, that he was sorry for the physical and emotional pain, embarrassment, and fear he caused his victims, law enforcement, and his community. Those were his words, and that was 23 years ago, in 2002. The remorse and reflection that he expresses to you today are the same sentiments that he has sat with for the past 25 years and will continue to feel forever. As you see in his records, Mr. Dagel has taken his punishment and his rehabilitation very seriously. He presents with a long list of programs that we've both taken and facilitated. He's held just about every job there is to have at Allen, including those that are reserved for the most trusted offenders there. And as you've heard, he's earned only one disciplinary infraction in all of his 25 years, which occurred 21 years ago when he was out of place in Western Jersey. Mr. Dagel has served the entirety of his sentences for his attempted manslaughter and civil battery convictions, and over 75% of his sentence for Pickkins. If Mr. Dagel is denied parole today, based on the current calculation, he will be released in about 20 months. However, if he's granted parole today, he will re-enter the community with a longer period of parole supervision and with discipline. Having heard the concerns of the victim and her family in the previous hearings, Mr. Dagel and I have been there. They are uncomfortable with the thought. But we hope that a longer period of parole supervision and the involvement of the parole project will bring some semblance of peace and comfort to the victim and their family as they grapple with his inevitable loss. In consideration of the victim and her family, Mr. Dagel has also chosen a post-parole project residency plan outside of Lake Charles. Mr. Dagel has learned through internal reflection, through programming, through personal experience, now that the lasting impacts that incidents of violence, and particularly domestic violence, can have. As Ms. Manuel mentioned, just 3 months ago, Mr. Dagel lost his brother Brett to an incident of domestic violence when he was tragically killed by the mother. From this awful experience, Mr. Dagel has grown an even deeper understanding of how it feels to be a victim of a violent crime and the impact of his own violent actions. As you can see and you've read in letters of support, Mr. Dagel has a wonderful and supportive family who are eager to support him as he transitions back into the community and to keep him in case. Even from prison, Mr. Dagel has been an excellent father and role model to his son, Derrick Jr., having missed key moments in his early life to reunite Derrick Jr. and Derrick Sr. Mr. Dagel also maintains a positive relationship with Derrick Jr.'s mother and her family, who think very highly of Mr. Dagel and are also willing to support him, as you can see in their letter of support. Mr. Dagel's parents asked that I let the committee know that they are watching today on YouTube. They are extremely proud of Derrick's exhibited maturity and capacity to take responsibility, and having lost a son recently, we have a special interest to Derrick's home. Mr. Dagel has done everything that he can do from within the confines of prison to prove that he is remorseful for his actions, he is rehabilitated, and he is well prepared to re-enter the community as a responsible and a peaceful citizen. And as far as responsibility, I think Mr. Dagel speaks for himself. In my time working with him, he has never hesitated to, without excuse, take ownership for every ounce of problem. So, considering those factors, to keep Mr. Dagel in prison for an additional 2 weeks would serve no meaningful purpose. Given his continued dedication to awareness and prevention of domestic and sexual violence and the positive impact that he's had on his son and his nieces and nephews with whom he plans to live, there's no question that Mr. Dagel will benefit his community. He certainly will. Though Mr. Dagel has gained significant awareness of the impact he has had on the victims through the OASIS program and his personal experience, when the victim awareness course was recently made available to Mr. Dagel, he did enroll. He is currently taking victim awareness, and he's set to complete that course in September. So I mentioned that to say that if the board deems it an appropriate or necessary condition, we would complete that program before he is released, he is happy to do that. In closing, I humbly ask this board to consider all of the incredible work that Mr. Dagel has done, positive impact he has already had on his community, and his genuine remorse for his friends, and grant him the opportunity to serve for the way for something. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Dagel, your case was assigned to Mrs. Ledoux. Would you answer any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Dagel.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, there's not a lot of questions. I mean, everything that I've kind of been wondering about have addressed during the course of this hearing. I'd like for you, if you don't mind, it's not confidential. I'd like for you to state the names of your victims. I want to make sure you know the names.
Yes, ma'am. They're April Jones and they were Catherine Wanage. The long list of others that were in the story, Miss Rickle-Fisson, Miss Herbert or Abear, that was the ones I know for sure that I can recall that were in the story. I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. But April Jones and Miss Catherine Wanage were the primary victims, ma'am.
You referred to them as the victims, the victims. I just want to make sure that, you know, you understand who your victims were. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, you have some law enforcement opposition.
Yes, ma'am.
And you do have some victim opposition.
Yes, ma'am.
To your crime. You do have a good time date of 2027.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have earned 495 good time days.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Is that the max for him, Ward?
It is. Yes, it is, Ms. Ledoux.
It's the max. So you've done everything. You've maxed out on all of your classes, and you're still taking classes even though you don't earn good time.
Yes, ma'am. The max was 360 under Act 1099. I've been at 495 for maybe since 21 or 22. And I'm currently in a couple of classes now. One of them you can get good time, but I do, since you asked the question, I do want to elaborate on something. The good time matters not if you're not willing to change and be the man that you need to be. And that requires it to be a lifestyle. I mean, change and rehabilitation are just words. If there's no action behind it, it doesn't mean anything. And regardless of good time or not, I've wanted my actions since the date of my crime. Regardless of what credit I'm given, I wanted it to reflect my prison record and the evidence of change. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you letting me answer your question.
I would offer my colleagues an opportunity to ask questions and then request to go into executive. They indicated they didn't want to.
Mr. Martin said that you had no plans on going back to Calcasieu Parish. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct. And I would like to tell you why, if you have a moment. I think a peaceful resolution to the eventual fact is I'm getting released from prison, obviously. But the most important thing is for the peace of the victim and their families. Listen, I've caused more harm and irreparable harm than I would have ever imagined, thought possible. The easiest way is to, I feel like, sacrifice. And I put the victims first. I really do, because this whole case is about them and my actions and what it did to them. So to relocate 2.5 hours away, I hope that would give them peace and comfort and security and ease any fear that they may have, because I'm certainly not a threat and I want to be able to approve it. And it also gives me the chance to start fresh, sir.
So would you agree to that being a lifetime thing or just the end of your parole thing? How do you feel about that?
sir, whatever this board seems fit, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make amends for my crime. If that makes the victims and their families comfortable, then honestly, I'll do it. It's not even a question. If
Okay.
that's what you take comfort in, yes, sir.
Thank you.
So, let me just ask, I have one question, Mr. Daigle. I think in reviewing the record, at the time of this offense, you suffered some kind of mental health crisis.
Yes, ma'am.
And so do you currently see mental health?
I haven't in the last 25 years, Ms. Renata. Recently, I mean, I'm always transparent. With the death of my brother, mental health, unrelated to anything else, they did call and interview me about that. Just ask questions that they would do with any other individual, which I truly respected and I appreciated. But again, I want to back off of, yes, there was a mental health issue I was going on at the time, but I would never sit before you and make excuses as to the stupidity and selfish act that I committed. Taking responsibility and owning it and being accountable and changing that. And prison has taught me, and I would love to say this, please let me say this. If it wasn't for the Department of Corrections and the Allen Correctional Center administration, staff, and security, I probably wouldn't be sitting before you today. These people have single-handedly, aside from God and family, these people have single-handedly not only changed, but they saved the life of Derrick Dagel due to, there was one constant thing when I woke up each day inside these walls. I was provided with the opportunity to make amends and the opportunity to rehabilitate and change. And if it wasn't for these people, these good people that went above and beyond their job, the Department of Corrections, I wouldn't be here. So thank you for sending me to prison because that's what I needed. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, I don't see any other questions, Mr. Daigle. Is the panel prepared to vote?
I think I'm prepared to vote. Mr. Daigle, my vote today is to grant parole to the Parole Project for a period of no longer than 3 months to get yourself on your feet, get some stability, and then to your residence plan with your brother. I would like to stipulate on the record that you are not to live in Calcasieu Parish.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not a healthy thing to do, and have no contact with your victims.
Yes, ma'am.
Family.
Yes,
No. Thank you. Mr. Mara.
I'm going to concur with Ms. Ledoux, but I'm going to up that parole project stay for 6 months. I need you to stay a minimum of 6 months. And during that time, I want you to get a mental health evaluation and follow up on any recommendations for treatment. You've been through a lot yourself. And that you do not go to Lake Charles, as you said, for the rest of your life.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, Mr. Daigle, I've seen you before in another setting, but I do agree with my colleagues today based on what we've heard today, what the warden and the staff and the Oasis Project has said about you. I think you've demonstrated sincere remorse, and I like the idea that you're going to be on supervision for a little while before you complete your sentence. So this does not reduce your sentence, but we're just going to let you out in the community for a while.
I would say that somebody needs to bring him a surf and turf from Daryl's. If he cannot go back to Calcasieu Parish, that would be.
All right, good luck, Mr. Daigle.
Thank you, Committee on Parole. Thank you and God bless.
And Warden, that concludes our business at Allen. We're going to sign off. It's 10:04. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Well, Derek, I go to Baton Rouge all the time, so I'll get you the surf and turf.
All right, good morning.
And how you doing?
Good, thank you. We are reconvening, the Committee on Parole is reconvening. We're at the Southwest Correctional Center. With any staff there? You have some staff in the room with you, sir?
Yes, ma'am. It's right here.
Yes, ma'am. Cheryl Cook.
Or Ms. Cook, thank you for accommodating us this morning. And Christopher, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Okay, my name is Christopher E. Granado, 729-056.
All right, Mr. Granado, let me just read some identifying information into the record, sir. You're classified as a first felony offender. You're currently serving a 40-year sentence for drug racketeering. You were sentenced in Vernon Parish in February 2018. Your parole eligibility date is February 10th of 2026. Your mandatory release date is February 14, 2029.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Sounds correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us, sir, why you're in jail and why do you think we ought to vote to release you early?
Well, I just, I know what I did was wrong. And I'm so sorry for everything I did, you know? It's just, I missed out on my kids. My nephew died. My brother's having a stroke. They really need me out there. Everybody, my sister, they're in bad shape. Everybody's just struggling. You hear me?
Okay. Well, we're gonna be asking you some questions, but let me see if does the staff have anything to say about Mr. Granado?
No, ma'am.
He's done good here. I mean, he has worked. He's never had a write up. He is, as far as a good inmate, what I'm saying. Never done anything wrong. We don't have any bad reports or anything on him.
Good. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Granado, how many people were involved in the drug trafficking system you had going?
I mean, at least 1, 2, plus of, plus. I believe so 5. It was
Okay.
me out there, me, police, about 5 people.
And where are those co-defendants still incarcerated?
I believe so. My sister-in-law, she's serving time still.
Yeah.
I think they went home and they got in trouble and came back.
Yeah. Were you born in New Mexico?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Where were you born?
In New Mexico, Artesia, New Mexico, 88. The zip code 88210.
In there. Have you had pre-release?
I took every classes y'all have. Whatever they got to offer me, I took everything.
Ms. Cook, do you have his records with you?
I don't have all of his classes. I know he took a lot of the classes that we offer, but I don't think he's had the pre-release.
I show we have had pre-release. Have you had your GED? Do you have a GED?
Yes, ma'am. I got a high school diploma out there in the world.
It said you had a 6th grade. You said
Yeah,
6th grade.
It was the 6th grade level. That's what I went to right there. And then I went to class over here. And David Wade, I went to school and then they transferred me over here. I didn't get it finished at all. I didn't get that.
So you don't have a GED?
No.
You have not finished 12 years of school?
No, I haven't. I was at the time I was doing it, and then I got transferred over here to D.
Okay.
TWP.
Right. How You had a 40-year sentence. How many months, how many years have you served?
Almost 10 years.
10 of a 40. Okay. All right, I have no further questions.
Mr. Bauer?
No question.
I don't have any questions. Mr. Granado, that concludes our interview. I think we're ready to vote. Mrs. Ledoux.
Mr. Granado, I read extensively about the volume of drugs that came into the area at your hands. You've only served at 1040. So for the lack of time served, you haven't completed your necessary programming. My vote is to deny today.
Mr. Bauer.
I concur with Ms. Ledoux for the same reason, that not enough time served.
And I do agree, Mr. Granado, based on the insufficient time served. My vote today also is to deny. So today your parole's been denied, sir. Good luck. And that concludes our business at your facility. We're going to sign off at 10:16. All right, good morning. The Committee on Parole is reconvening. We are now in St. Tammany Parish. The officer, please introduce yourself for the record.
Raquel Davis with Probation and Parole, Covington District.
All right, thanks for being with us. And so the officer there in St. Tammany, would you introduce yourself?
Corporal Jonathan Lott.
Right. Thank y'all. And we have Taylor. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Hi, my name is Taylor Marie Dukree, and my DOC number is 614187.
And we are here this morning, Ms. Dukree, for a revocation decision.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you should have some paperwork there with a parole revocation questionnaire.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your signature at the bottom of that page.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, thank you. And based on that information, you're not eligible for appointed counsel. So are you ready to proceed without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case has been assigned to Mrs. Ledoux. I'm just going to turn it over to her.
Okay, so we have quite a few violations. I'm going to read each violation and I need you to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty or guilty with a statement. We'll discuss the information afterwards, but we need to go ahead and get your plea before we do. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
On condition number 2, on 10/25/2024, you were given a drug screen which showed positive for meth. You were ordered to self-report to the jail to serve a 10-day jail sanction, and you failed to report. How do you plead?
I was guilty.
Okay. Number 3, I guess it would be, you failed to provide your supervising agent with your updated address, which resulted in a warrant being issued on 10/30/2024. Your whereabouts were unknown until your arrest on 6/25 for a probation and parole warrant. How do you plead?
I was guilty.
3B, you traveled to Mississippi without permission on 10/29/2024.
Guilty with a statement.
Number 4, okay, I think we're going to have 2 parts of number 4. You failed to refrain from illegal use of drugs, evidenced by multiple drug screens. 8/21/24, you were given a drug screen and you were positive for THC. 9/4/2024, you were given a follow-up screen and you were positive for cocaine, methamphetamines, and MDMA. And then you were instructed to check into an inpatient treatment, which you failed to do. On 10/25/2024, you were given a drug screen and showed positive for meth. Again, you were ordered to self-report to serve 10 days jail sanction, and you did not. How do you plead?
Guilty with a statement.
Also, section B of that, you admitted to the officer of using THC daily and consuming 2 to 6 glasses of wine daily during the intake at the St. Tammany Parish Jail.
Guilty with a statement.
Okay, number 8, you tested positive for cocaine, meth, amphetamines, and MDMA on 9/4/2024. You were ordered to participate in an inpatient substance abuse treatment. You failed to comply. How do you?
Guilty with a statement.
And you have not made your supervision fees and your $969 in arrear.
Guilty.
Okay, you have a lot of statements that you want to make. And so at this time, I'm going to go ahead and just sit back and listen to what you have to say about all these allegations.
Yes, ma'am. I did not go to an inpatient program, but I did complete an outpatient that I did go to. Also, I did travel to Mississippi, but it was only to return a vehicle that me and my boyfriend at the time, he's not my ex, were sharing, and his mom was threatening to call law enforcement on me. So I did bring the vehicle back to her. And as far as the THC, I do have a marijuana card, which I have mixed understanding on whether or not we're allowed to smoke on parole at this point. I guess you guys can tell me. I'm trying to think, that's it. Also, I was staying with my parents, which would be where I would reside if you guys released me. But I think when my officer went there, she said she went there like 2 or 3 times. I was not home.
Okay. We're pleased that we have the officer, Ms. Kel Davis. Ms. Davis, would you please enlighten the panel what you have to say?
Good morning. So in regards to her completing outpatient treatment, she was not instructed to complete outpatient treatment. She was specifically told, and the directions were very clear, that she needed to go into inpatient treatment, because at that point, I think that was her 3rd positive screen, and outpatient treatment was no longer an option. So she did report to the office the day that she was ordered the 10-day jail sanction. She reported in and she tested positive more for illegal substances, which only showed that the outpatient treatment that she participated in, which she was not allowed to, showed that it shows that it was ineffective and it was inappropriate. It was not a good fit for her. In reference to her absconding to Mississippi, that was not the story. When we went to the jail, she initially stated that she had never traveled to Mississippi. I received information from the subject's mother, a former boyfriend, that she had been residing at her residence and she was unaware that she had been planning to abscond from supervision. I went to her parents' house several times, to the point where her mom threatened to contact the police on us because we continued to go to her residence after she told us that Taylor was no longer staying there. And what else? Illegal substances. And at this point, I think that we've exhausted all opportunities, all resources that were available, and I'm seeking revocation.
May I ask a question? I read in your notes that she actually had charges back in 10 of 23.
Yes,
and the
ma'am.
charges were dropped, and then you reprimanded her and continued on supervision.
No, ma'am. So she was a transfer from the New Orleans district. She was arrested, and honestly, I have no idea what happened with the charges, but she was released from jail, and that's when they sent over the transfer to Covington District, and I went out, verified her residence, and that's when she continued on supervision. But I don't know if the charges were dropped or not.
Okay, so she did have even a prior arrest before she came to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want to be clear on that. Ms. Dukree, are you a 4th felony offender?
Not sure. I did catch charges, and they did drop them down to misdemeanor, and I was released on the reprimand, but that was through New Orleans.
Okay, so in your master prison record, it says you're a 4th felony offender. Is that correct?
If it says that, then I am. I'm not too sure. I know that I had taken felony probation on several different charges, and I was under 2 or 3 different judges, but I don't know what offender class that made me.
Okay, all right. I don't have any other questions.
Why you didn't go report for the 10-day jail sanction when the officer was?
I'm stupid. Dumb.
You honest?
Yes,
And,
sir.
thank you. That's the only question.
Okay, I don't see any other questions or Ms. Ledoux prepared to make.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor, I don't have much choice. You have not availed yourself to being supervised by your officer, and you've not followed the standard conditions or special conditions of parole. My vote today is to revoke, but I will want to say that Ms. Davis, thank you for being here, and you've done a good job presenting your information. Mr. Byron.
Thank you.
I concur with Ms. Ledoux. You didn't make a good run at this probation. However, I would like to add a recommendation to the file that you complete some drug treatment and drug awareness before you get out of there, so that you're better prepared to deal with the next round.
My vote is the same, to revoke for the same reasons, with the same recommendation as Mr. Byra. You got to seek out some help while you're there. Good luck to you. Today, your parole being revoked. Thank you, Ms. Davis.
Thank you.
And that's concludes our business there in St. Tammany. We're going to sign out at 10:32. Good morning. We're now, where are we, in Washington? And we have, sorry, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name.
Oh, no speak English.
No English?
No, sir.
So we're trying to get an interpreter. Stand by. All right, Angola, can you turn on your camera, please? Thank you. Yes, it is 10:53. Committee on Parole is reconvening. We're now at Louisiana State Penitentiary. Today is August the 13th, 2025. Warden, would you and your staff please introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Darrell Granado, the warden.
Ashley Oliver, deputy warden.
Reginald Admiral, classification.
Jane Babel, offender records.
Jeremy Dito, nurse practitioner.
All right.
Nurse practitioner.
Sandra Kaiser, RN supervisor.
And Mr. Lawson, Ricky is not able to speak because he had a stroke. So he's not going to be able to speak to you.
Okay, let me, I got the wrong case. Let's see. Ricky Portalis.
Yes, ma'am.
That Ricky there?
That's Ricky.
Go back.
All right, but you can, Mr. Portalis, you can hear and understand me okay?
Somewhat.
Okay, well, let me just read some identifying information into the record and then for the record.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Portalis is classified as a first felony offender. He's currently serving a life sentence for convictions in Lafayette Parish. In March 1986, he was sentenced for simple burglary, but in May 10th, 1986, he received a life sentence for second-degree murder. He's been recommended for a medical treatment furlough. And his case has been assigned to Mr. Barra. So before we get started, we'd like for medical, just for the record, to give us a little information about his medical situation.
Yes, ma'am. So Mr. Ricky is 63. Most recent, around April of 2024, ended up suffering a stroke that left him left-sided hemiparesis or weakness, as well as some aphasia or difficulty speaking. Since his return, he really hadn't gained much function on that side, so he does require some assistance with his ADLs or his assisted daily living chores. Most of his interactions just smiling with medical staff now. He does have some chronic kidney disease as well as some hyperlipidemia or high cholesterol and pre-diabetes. But his most recent event was a stroke in April of 2024 that ended up having some catastrophic life-changing events with him.
All right, thank you, sir. And let me just recognize that we have Danny Portalis, who is, let's see, Mr. Ricky's brother. Is he there at Angola?
Yeah. No, ma'am.
He's where? He's on Zoom. Danny, Mr. Danny, do you want to say anything about your brother's situation? You have to unmute. We can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am, I sure do.
All right, go ahead, sir. Now, as I understand it, you are Mr. Portalis's brother, but you're also the grandson of the victim. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So what would you like us to know, sir?
It's just wanted to say it's been a long journey. Like I said, I'm on both sides of the situation. At this point, with my brother's health, it's more empathy and compassion for a way of life for him. I visited my brother for many years, and we've had conversations about the act that he committed. I know he expressed sorrow and regret for what happened. We've had countless conversations about that. And I found a way to forgive him after quite a few years. In fact, in the last 10 years, I visited my brother on a monthly basis because of him showing forgiveness. And and just being able to talk to me about what happened and why it happened and there's circumstances. I think at this point, those circumstances, are relevant, especially with his health condition. I think that's more of something that's at the forefront. Uh, for the last year since he's had his stroke, he can't speak. Half of his the left side of his body, right side of his body, he can't move. He's in a wheelchair. I spend time and time with him on a monthly basis for over an hour, and it's totally silent. I'm speaking, he can't speak. He really wants to, but I just don't think he's going to get the proper care in the facility he's in now. So I would just ask the board to show some compassion as far as his health right now, so he can at least live out whatever time God has given him in a more comfortable environment that can cater to his needs. And that's really where I'm at. It's not a matter of whether he deserves it or not. It's more of a matter of his well-being.
Thank you, Mr. Danny. We do appreciate you taking the time to share those thoughts with us this morning.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Mr. Byron?
Well, I guess I really don't have any questions. I'm looking at the recommendation from the medical director, the nursing staff in support of the medical furlough, stating Mr. Portalis' medical condition is permanent and he will require 24-hour nursing care for all the remainder of his life. I'm looking at the statements from Mr. Danny Portalis and Miss Cecilia Harris, the victim's grandchildren, and they're unopposed to this release. So I'm ready. Nobody else has any questions. I'm ready to vote.
Any questions, Warden Benoit? Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, ma'am, yeah, we do have housing arrangements at Capitol Oaks Nursing and Rehab Center in Baton Rouge, North Boulevard.
Great, thank you. Mr. Byron, you ready to vote?
I'm ready to vote. Today, I'm going to vote to grant the medical treatment furlough for the reasons I just stated. No opposition from the victim's family and recommendations from the medical staff.
Will do.
I concur with my colleague and following the lead of the DOC administration, vote to grant medical treatment furlough.
And my vote is the same, to grant the medical treatment furlough to the Capitol Oaks Rehab Center in Baton Rouge. So, Mr. Danny Portalis, that's what we're going to do. We're going to send him to that rehab center.
All right.
All right, thank you for your patience. We are now ready to consider the case of Mr. KENTRELL PARKER. Mr. Parker, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, would you tell us your name and DOC number, sir?
KENTRELL PARKER, 37-1212.
All right, Mr. Parker, and we're here today for consideration for a medical treatment furlough because you've been recommended for a medical treatment furlough. And you have your attorney there with you in Angola. Mr. Foster, would you introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, Matthew Foster. I'm here representing KENTRELL PARKER.
And we'd like to hear from you shortly, sir. We're going to get some information and then we'd like to hear from you. Let me just acknowledge here at headquarters, we have Mr. Michael Allen with the Promise of Justice and Mr. Rich Webster. Welcome. We appreciate you all being here. On Zoom, we have Mr. Norris Henderson who wants to be speaking. We'll call on him shortly. And then also there at Angola, we have family and friends, Ms. Kirka Parker, Samantha Pusho, Edward Johnson, and Janice Parker. First, before we hear from the medical staff, Mr. Parker, I'm going to read some identifying information into the record. You are classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a life sentence at Angola for a sentence of you were convicted in Orleans Parish in December of 1999 for a second-degree murder. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we'd like to hear from the medical staff. Can you tell us about Mr. Parker's condition?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Kentrell, he's 47. And about, I think, February 19, 2010, he was involved in a cervical injury that basically left him quadriplegic. Since then, he's developed a neurogenic bladder that basically requires a chronic suprapubic cath, some constipation, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. But he's basically total care. He's going to need assistance 24/7 to feed and care for him and clean for him based on that injury about 15 years ago.
All right. Mr. Foster, is there anything you'd like us to know before we ask our questions of the medical staff?
No, I can defer to them to go over the medical information first before I speak.
Okay. And Mr. Henderson, what would you like us to know?
Good morning, Ms. Renassa, Ms. Ledoux, and Mr. Byers. I was a KENTRELL football coach. And for the last 20-something years, I've been, it's one thing a person gets hurt on the field, and the person on the sideline looking is kind of like traumatized by what they see also. I've been not just a family friend, but, I coached him for years. And so when this tragedy happened, it just took the wind out of us. It was the first time somebody actually got hurt playing intramural sports in the prison to this extent. And I just want the board to know that I have been trying, ever since I've been home, trying to do everything I can to help KENTRELL's transition from the prison to here. I don't know how many conversations I've had with people, different wardens, secretary, even the governor, and trying to kind of like move this thing. Trell is, was a very athletic kid. And to see him the way he's been for the last, almost 2 decades now, it's just kind of like just heartbreaking. It's kind of really toils at me every day. I mean, every time I watch football, the minute somebody get hit, my first thought is Trell. And so I would just hope that this board, given what the doctor just said, that Trell is going to need 24/7 care. His mother's here, his sister, his family, and then his extended family. His extended family is all these guys who played ball with him that's going to be there to help this family deal with this. This is not like something that, you just wake up the next morning, it's like, oh, it's something I'm prepared to do. But I think given over the time that we have been struggling, trying to get trail to this day, I think we've built up the resources that we need to be able to help trail transition. Personally, I'm gonna do everything I can. Our organization, giving the resources that we have available, I would do everything to help this family, help Trail be as comfortable as he can be, given his circumstance. What that looks like, I don't know. I think one of the assets that I also bring is that I'm a former hospice volunteer, so I know how to take care of patients. A lot of the guys that was on our team are former hospice volunteers that's home. And so we know what that care looks like. Because some of our guys, before we got out, we took care of Trail. And so it's not something that is something new to us. This is a kind of continuation of something that we had already done. So I would just hope and pray that this board really consider this medical release for KENTREL. Because again, it's like right now, he's really a burden to the state in the sense of somebody have to 24/7 care. It's not like he's just a regular patient on Ward 2. He's a patient that needs all the patient care that he needs 24/7. And, you know, given that, again, tragic accident, nobody planned for these things. But, you know, I always tell people that, you know, man plots and plan, but God the best planner. So, you know, we can't put this beyond, I mean, God know what he was doing, we're not questioning that. But I think it kind of like give us the opportunity now to do something that can kind of like not make him whole, but at least to kind of like rejoin him outside the correction environment where his family can actually provide him with the TLC that he actually needs. Not that he's not around friends that care about him, but to this other extended family of friends that can really help him. And first of all, I want to thank y'all for really just kind of giving me the latitude just to kind of like, you know, just talk from the heart about Trail because, you know, it's like my son, you know, it's somebody you coach. I coached him for 10 years playing football. And it was kind of like this experience of camaraderie that we done everything together. I mean, from season to season, we wasn't playing football, we was playing softball. We wasn't playing softball, we playing volleyball. We wasn't playing volleyball, we playing basketball. And over those 10 years of me interacting with him, it's like I saw him like he was my son, you know? And so it's just like I would really appreciate the board's deep consideration and, you know, granting release to him today. And, you know, it's just a challenge. I mean, it's a challenge for me just to see him in the state that he's in, knowing how talented he was and what he brought, not just to the athletic field, but, you know, he's this outgoing, gregarious person. He was a fun person, you know? And I kind of like just, you know, it's just kind of like hard today to really just, I don't, be honest with you, I've been a part of a lot of hearings and I just don't know, be honest with you, is that what else I can do in this moment for him. I just don't. I really don't. And it's just kind of like this. It's just hard, but.
We appreciate you spending time with us this morning, Norris.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Not to blame for the end.
We're gonna, I'm gonna turn over to Mr. Bauer for any questions he may have.
I don't have any questions. The facts of the case speak for themselves. We got a recommendation from prison medical staff that medical treatment furlough was recommended, that the condition will not improve, that he would need complete nursing care for the rest of his life. I'm looking at the report from the victim assistance coordinator, where the victims, the deceased, did not want to participate, did not want to make a statement at this time. So we have no real opposition from the victim family. So I'm ready to vote whenever y'all are ready to vote.
Mrs. Ledoux?
I would like to point out, Mr. Parker went to a nursing home previously, not long after the incident occurred, and then was returned to Angola. Can Mr. Parker address that?
Yes, ma'am. I was at a nursing facility and I made a bad decision. And I feel like a changed man. And I wouldn't make the same mistake that I made before.
Okay, I'm going to address one more thing. I'm doing this because I want you to recognize we have read this file. You had a write-up in 2020 because your mouth got you in trouble. Being ugly to one nurse.
Yes, ma'am.
That concerns me. Because you're going to be dependent on these people and you can be abusive to them verbally. You understand how that's not going to be acceptable?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Foster, anything you want to add?
Yes, I guess I would like to note that the particular statute that would empower the committee to grant furlough in this case would be Chapter 15, Section 574.20, in particular subsection 2B, which defines limited mobility offender as someone unable to perform activities of daily living without help. That would be that would define KENTRELL PARKER. And the statute goes on to describe the conditions that should be met, that the offender is not a flight risk or a risk to public safety. KENTRELL is not a flight risk or a risk to public safety, and the former write-ups that he had wouldn't rise to the level of being a public safety risk in the sense that it should impact the committee's decision on furlough. Furlough is also revocable. So if there's a concern that something could happen in the future, the committee's decision today isn't permanent. So hopefully the committee will grant furlough. It'd be the right thing to do to ensure his medical care and also ease the burden on the prison and save the state money. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Foster. And, we are considering, just to expand further for our viewers, the medical treatment furlough requires placement in a nursing or medical facility. It's not to go home to anybody. I think we're prepared to vote. Mr. Byron.
Mr. Parker, today I'm going to vote to grant your request for medical treatment furlough based upon the fact that there's no strong victim opposition and that you're recommended by the medical staff.
Mrs. Legit.
Because you require complete assistance with ADLs and pose no public safety threat, my vote is also to grant to your medical furlough.
And I didn't ask Warden Benoit, is there a particular medical facility that you have worked out?
No, ma'am, they're waiting to hear from, they've contacted some nursing homes. Several have turned it down, but they're waiting to hear for some more.
Okay.
They turned it down because of this level of care, they couldn't provide it. Only place that we contact.
Okay. Well, my vote today also is to grant the medical treatment furlough upon, finding a suitable placement for his care. So
we will be looking very hard.
okay, thank you. So, Mr. Parker, you've been granted a medical treatment furlough. Good luck to you.
Thank y'all.
right, we are in our next case for consideration of medical treatment furlough or medical parole is Mr. Harold Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins able to hear okay?
No,
He's-
no,
no-
ma'am, he can't hear, and his hearing aids don't help him, and he doesn't speak very well either.
Okay, so we'll get some information from medical. First, I want to read some identifying information into the record. Mr. Harold Jenkins' DOC number is 563535. He is a first offender. He was sentenced in St. Tammany Parish in November 2009 to a life sentence for second-degree rape. So he has been recommended for medical parole. Let me acknowledge that we do have Miss Angela Jenkins, the victim's mother, who is here, who has joined us by Zoom. Before we hear from her, we'd like to hear for the medical summary, please.
Yes, Mr. Jenkins is a 91-year-old male. He's got a history of hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, chronic kidney disease, atrial fibrillation, hard of hearing, as well as some dementia. He does require some assistance with ADL, such as bathing and feeding at times, has to be prompted to eat. Regarding his mental status, he's able to hear but not always comprehend what's being asked of him.
Thank you, sir. And Ms. Jenkins, is there anything you'd like to say to the panel? I think you're still on mute.
Let's see, I think, can you hear me now?
Yes, you can. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes. Oh, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all. I just want to say that what Harold did to my special needs daughter will be with her for the rest of her life. She does still from time to time bring it up. And I also would like to say that for the first 10 or 12 years that he was there in Angola, he never apologized once, never reached out, never made any attempt to reach out. The only time I ever heard he was sorry about anything was at the last attempt to parole him for medical 3 years ago. And in my opinion, that's just a little too late when you're just trying to get released to a nursing home. So he's fortunate that I am not his judge, because in my opinion, he needs to stay right where he is until the day that he has died, just like we were told when he was sentenced, and just like my daughter was told. And I would like that to not be changed at this point, that I have to go, let her know that that he didn't have to live out the rest of his life there, because that's what she's been told and that's what she has taken comfort in.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. I just want to clarify one thing for you. Is Mr. Harold Jenkins is prohibited by law to reaching out to his victims. So I don't know whether he would have tried or not, but he can't do it even if he wanted to. So just so you know. And we appreciate you taking the time to speak.
But it was brought up at the hearing 3 years ago that he never tried to better himself or to take classes, even before he was, quote, demented and so physically impaired, that he never made any attempts to better himself as a person or to make any kind of rights for the wrong he has done.
Yes, ma'am, I appreciate it. Gordon Benoit, is there anything you'd like to tell us about Mr. Jenkins?
Not really. Medical went over. He's just like he is, like you say him now. They're working on, if he is granted, trying to get him to Villa. That's where medical's trying to get him to, if he would be granted a medical furlough.
All right, thank you. So his case was assigned to me. So let me just make note for the record that when the offense happened, and it happened over a period of time, he was in his mid-70s when the offense occurred. I do note in the medical record that, you know, medical has said his condition is permanent, he's slowly deteriorating. He has elected to make himself a do not resuscitate because of his age and related deficits. But they do recommend him for the medical parole. So I don't have any other particular questions. Do my colleagues have any?
I'd like to probe just a little more on the medical. Is he incontinent completely?
He has episodes of urinary incontinence. So he does get some diaper changes as well as some stool if he doesn't have assistance to make it to the bathroom.
Okay, so and he can feed himself.
Yes, ma'am.
How much does he talk?
He mumbles. I was trying to talk to him a little bit before we came back on, trying to make sure he understood why he was here. And I'm yelling at him, and I don't know if he actually truly comprehends why he's even here today, to be honest with you.
Okay, so has he been received a diagnosis of dementia?
Mental health's been following him. I think the only diagnosis they actually put in the chart is just depressive disorder. But based on clinically, with him not being able to, I guess, articulate our conversations back and forth, I would lean more towards some dementia as well.
He has some kind of dementia. Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, for the record, let me just state there is pretty strong opposition from the district attorney's office in St. Tammany Parish, as well as the sheriff's office in St. Tammany Parish. We've heard from the victim's family who is opposed, and the attorney general's office is also strongly opposed. I guess we're ready to vote, and I'll be voting first. My vote today, based on the opposition that's been expressed today and in the record, is going to be to deny the request for medical parole. Mr. Byron.
I concur with Mr. Johnson for the same reason.
Mrs. Ledoux.
Based on the recommendation by the Department of Corrections and his significant limitations, my vote would be to grant him medical treatment furlough.
All right, it does require a unanimous vote. So today, Mr. Jenkins has been denied for medical parole. Right, we are ready for our next case, and that is Mr. Leonard McGee.
They talking to you.
Yeah.
Mr. McGee.
He can hear you.
He can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, good. So, Mr. McGee's, I'm gonna just read the identifying information into the record. Mr. McGee's DOC number is 119402. He's classified as a 5th felony offender. He is currently serving a sentence of 112 years. He has original sentencing date in 1987 for forcible rape. And for which he was released from jail, but he under supervision. He was revoked on 2 different occasions for that. Attempted simple burglary, sentenced initially, I guess, in 2001. His record is very confusing. And then I have 3 counts of armed robbery and an attempted armed robbery and purse snatching in July of 2004. All those sentences are running consecutively, thus the 112-year sentence. He does have a parole eligibility date, which was November 17 of 2023. And his good time date is in 2114. He is here today for a medical parole consideration. And we also have with us by Zoom, we have Mr. Randy Meyer with the DA's office in Jefferson, who would like to speak at the appropriate time. We'll ask him to do so. Could we hear from the medical staff about Mr. McGee's medical condition, please?
Yes, ma'am. He's a 62-year-old male. He's got a history of hepatitis C, refused to take medicines for it, high blood pressure, diabetes. He's got blindness secondary to retinopathy from his diabetes, high cholesterol, seizure disorder that's been in remission with medications, multiple strokes. That's basically left him bedridden and contracted on his left side. He requires basically 24-hour care. He's unable to feed himself. He soils himself, so he needs assistance with cleaning him and replacing the diapers and depends.
Thank you, sir. Yes, and we have medical information also that says he has a left leg amputation.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
And he has been in the nursing unit, living in the skilled nursing facility. How long? Do you have that information?
I don't have the admit date, but since I've taken over nursing unit 2, and I've been over it for a couple of years, and since I've been here at Angola, I've been here 4 years. I know he's been on a nursing unit.
Okay, good, thank you. I made a note, I don't know where I got it from. I said he's been there probably 6 years.
Yes,
Paralyzed on his left side, both lower extremities and left arm locked in the fetal position. And that certification that his condition is permanent. And of course, you've indicated he requires 24-hour care. Mr. Meyer, could we hear from the DA's office, please? Is he only saying?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Randy Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. And as I was saying, this is a difficult one because of his apparent condition. But he's had multiple rapes, multiple armed robberies, multiple obscenities, which gives us concern about him being anywhere but in a prison setting. So because of that, we're opposed.
Okay, thank you, sir. Warden Minoy, is there any information that you can add?
Yes, ma'am. If he is granted Capital Oaks Nursing and Rehab, has accepted him.
Thank you. All right, based on the information contained in the record, I don't have any other additional questions. Are there any questions? All right, so, we don't have any additional questions of the warden or the medical staff, and I'm prepared to vote. Mr. McGee's record is concerning, with his criminal history, as the DA has mentioned. However, based on the recommendation by DOC, his current medical situation and the prognosis is poor. My vote today is going to be to grant the medical parole, but only to the Capitol Oaks Nursing and Rehab Facility. Mr. Bauer.
I'm gonna take those same considerations that Mr. Myers noted and look at his record, and I'm gonna deny medical parole.
Mrs. Ledoux.
My vote is to grant medical parole only to Capitol Oaks based on recommendation by DOC medical personnel and significant limitation, debilitating condition.
All right, it does require unanimous vote to grant the medical parole. So he's received one vote to deny. So the outcome of today, Mr. McGee's medical parole has been denied.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, we are ready for consideration of our next case, and that is also a medical parole to for Mr. Derrick Pickens. Mr. Pickens,
Yes, ma'am.
can you tell us your name and DOC number, please, sir?
Derrick Pickens, DOC 371462.
Okay, and you understand why you're here today for consideration of a medical parole?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me just read some identifying information into the record. You're classified as a third felony offender. You're currently serving a 60-year sentence for attempted second-degree murder and manslaughter. You were sentenced in Rapides, Paris in June of 2013. You do have a parole eligibility date, which is June 5th, 2032, and a good time date in April of 2062. And we're here today for a medical parole consideration, which is a little different than regular parole. So based on the recommendation by the medical staff, it's been determined you are eligible for that consideration. So let me, before we hear from medical, I'd like to recognize that we do have some folks who are here in opposition. Representing the victim, we have Mr. Derrick Johnson with the DA's office in Rapides, Ms. Juanita Hobson and Ms. Sheila Jobert, and we'll hear from them in just a few moments. First, we'd like to hear from the medical staff. Can you tell us a bit about Mr. Pickens' situation?
Yes, ma'am. My name's Kyle Harbroder. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm taking care of Derrick for about 1 to 2 years while he's been in nursing unit 2. He's 47 years old. He had multiple medical problems that we treat him for, but the main one is that he had 2 cervical or neck surgeries in around 2017, and that's left him paralyzed. Because he's paralyzed, he requires around-the-clock care. He's fed, bathed, tended to 24 hours a day. In addition to that, he does have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, borderline diabetes, neurogenic bladder, which is caused from being paralyzed. And he, as I said, we help him with all his activities of daily living. His condition is permanent as far as that goes. That's really all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
And we just may. So first, we'd like to hear from the victim's family, and then we'll come back to you, sir. Miss Sheila, could we hear from Miss Sheila first, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, ma'am. What would you like us to know?
I don't think he needs to be have an early parole because he killed my daughter. He stabbed her 81 times. So he wanted her dead. And today's her birthday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's her birthday and I can't celebrate with her.
Well, thanks for taking the time to speak with us, Ms. Jobert. And we have Juanita
Hobson.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Like my mom said, today's my sister's birthday. My sister can't be here, but he's alive and well. So she can't celebrate a birthday, but he's trying to get out of jail. He doesn't deserve to get out of jail. He tortured my sister. And on top of that, I feel like also last time he tried to get out, last time he tried to get parole, it was said if he got any better, that he goes back to prison. He looks pretty better to me. And to especially keep trying to get out, he definitely seems better to me. He needs to go back to regular prison, if anything, not get out. He don't deserve to get out. She can't be here for her birthday. He don't deserve to get out. He deserves to rot in prison. He didn't think about her. He didn't think about her family. He didn't want her to have a future. Why should he have a future?
Okay.
My sister right now could have children. She could be doing great things right now. She don't got that opportunity. But he's breathing. So the way she doesn't have the opportunity to have a future, he does not deserve one.
Well, thank you, Ms. Hobson. We appreciate both the comments from you and your mother. And we'll hear from the DA's office. Now, Mr. Johnson, is there anything you'd like to add?
Just that, while we are sympathetic to Mr. Derrick's injuries, our office is still opposed to any early release medical release that Mr. Pickens is trying to get at this time. Like the victims did state that they can't celebrate their loved one's birthday today. We believe that he was given a sentence and that he should serve out that sentence where he's at right now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Johnson. We appreciate the remarks by the DA's office. Mrs. Ledoux, question?
First of all, I'd like to talk with you, Mr. Pickens. Tell me about how you feel about where you are and the crime that you committed specifically.
Ma'am,
Talk to me about the crime you committed that brought you to this place.
me and my girlfriend, we had a fight. I don't know what else to say.
Medical staff, does he normally speak fluently and?
Yeah, he can speak fluently. I'm just assuming he doesn't know how else to answer the question. But he's able to communicate.
So tell me what you think about us letting you go on medical parole.
I think that would be best for me and my family. And I'm very remorse to the victim family, and I'm very sorry to the victim's family. And I think medical parole is best for me in my situation.
You say he has, how much use of his arms and legs does he have? Can he move himself up the bed or anything?
No, ma'am. He has minimal to no active use. He's been this is the longest he's ever sat up since I've been around him. Today waiting for this. We were trying to situate him to a more comfortable position as this meeting was getting started because he can't have active use. You can see in his arms and his fingers, he has contractures and atrophy, and that's from the muscles not being used in years. That is not something that can really improve. If he's improved, they might just because he's sitting in a wheelchair, but that's not. He can't get in the wheelchair on his own. He was lifted and placed in that chair for transportation.
Okay. Mr. Morgan?
What were y'all fighting about? What was the fight about?
She thought I was cheating on her. And she went and got a knife and tried to cut me.
Why did you attack the second woman? There was 2 women that day that got hurt. Why did you attack the second one?
Like I said, she tried to attack me too.
Both of them?
Yes, sir.
And why you think they were trying to attack you? Because you were cheating with a third woman? Or I thought there was one girlfriend and wife situation. You had a third woman? But don't let me put words in your mouth. Why did the second woman attack? The one who survived? Did you understand my question?
Yeah,
You don't know the answer? Why the second woman attacked you? Or did she attack you?
she attacked me.
But you don't know why?
No, I don't know why. Yeah, we was getting along good. And she just came out with a hammer.
All right.
Trying to, yeah.
I don't have any more questions.
All right, Warden Benoit, is there anything you can add?
Warden Benoit had to step out, Ms. Renat said, but there's nothing that needs to be added. Of course, if he's granted, he'll go to a nursing home placement. We haven't located one yet to accept him.
Okay. All right, I don't see any other questions. Ms. Ledoux, you ready to vote?
Yes, and I want you to clarify that my vote is not based on, there's some very bad things that have happened, but I'm following the DOC recommendation for release for medical parole only to a nursing home facility outside of Rapides Parish. I would grant. Mr. Brown.
I'm going to vote to deny this request for medical parole based on the seriousness of the crime and the victim opposition.
And my vote today for Mr. Pickens would be to grant the medical parole based on the recommendation by the DOC in his current medical condition only to a nursing home facility. But it does require unanimous vote. He didn't get that today, so today Mr. Pickens' medical parole has been denied. And Warden Olivo, that concludes our business there. We're going to adjourn or sign off 12:13.
2 out of 3. You have to have all 3.